नमो नमः।
सुप्रभातम।
सुप्रभातम सुप्रभातम
सुप्रभातं गुरुवर्य।
सुप्रभातम। आरम्भं कुर्मः। अद्य संगीता भगिनी
अस्तु
स्वव्याख्यानं
महोदय।
करोति।
नमो नमः महोदय। सुप्रभातम्।
सुप्रभातम।
सभी को नमस्कार। नमस्कार महोदया। मैं ध्यान श्लोक से शुरू करूंगी। मेरा टॉपिक है श्रीमन नारायणीयम और श्री नारायण भट्टात्री जो श्रीमन नारायणीयम के कवि हैं। I'll speak in English and little of Hindi in between. अस्तु महोदय।
जी
ध्यान
जी जी।
श्लोकम्। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलं स्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्री हयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सायंकाले वनान्ते कुसुमितसमये सैकते चन्द्रिकायां त्रैलोक्याकर्षणाङ्गं सुरवरगणिका मोहनापाङ्गमूर्तिं सेव्यं शृङ्गारभावैः नवरसभरितैः गोपकन्यासहस्रैः वन्देऽहं रासकेलीरतमतिसुभगं वश्य गोपालकृष्णम्। आनीलश्लक्ष्णकेशं ज्वलितमकरसत्कुण्डलं मन्दहास अस्यन्द्रार्धकौस्तुभश्री परिगत वनमालोरुहाराभिरामं श्रीवत्साङ्गं सुबाहु मृदुलसदुगरं काञ्चनच्छायचेलं चारुस्निग्धोरुम् अम्भोरुह ललितपदं भावयेऽहं भवन्तं। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे जगन्नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। सर्वत्र गोविन्द नाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। First of all, I would like to thank Mahavya for giving me this opportunity to speak today about this topic that I selected, that is Sriman Narayaniyam and its poet Sri Narayana Bhattatiri. I will also talk about the Guruvayur temple, where this popular work of unparalleled excellence on the stories and philosophy of Narayana or Lord Krishna have been composed. I would also like to thank my teacher and my Guru Mami, Srimati Saroja Jayakumar Garu, who is into teaching Narayaniyam for many years to interested students and has taught us all the 100 dashakams of Narayaniyam with lots of love and affection. It would have never been possible to even utter a word about Narayaniyam without her Guru Bhiksha. No Guru Dakshina I can give can match her patience and efforts that she put in teaching us Narayaniyam. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank her. I also would want to thank my good friend and guide, Anuradha Bhagni, who encouraged me to be a part of this Bhakti movement classes after the Bhagavad Gita classes were completed. And this encouraged me to take up this topic after seeing some of you speak on various interesting topics. Thank you all. I will now go towards the topic. Sri Narayaniyam is a very popular work of unparalleled excellence on the stories and philosophy of Narayana or Lord Krishna by the 16th century poet and devotee Sri Narayana Bhattatiri. Narayaniyam can be described as a condensed form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayaniyam, comprising of a little over 1,000 verses in 100 dashkams, is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, which has 12 skandhas with 355 chapters. A Mahatma has compared the condensed version of Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of Narayaniyam to be Kshirabdhi, the churning of the ocean of milk, after which Amritam, the nectar called Narayaniyam, was created. Naturally, it was dedicated to Lord Guruvayurappan as a unique Naivedyam. We'll understand more about Guruvayurappan and Guruvayur as we go forward. A unique feature of this work on the Lord Narayana, rightly called Narayaniyam, is that it is in the form of a direct dialogue with the Lord. It's a direct dialogue between the devotee and the Lord, addressing him in the first person or in a singular form. Though this divine poetic work was composed 4 centuries ago, its popularity in this country and abroad has increased massively in the last century only. Just like Bhagavata Saptaha lasts for 7 days, a Sampurna Narayaniyam recital in groups in a single day is now very common across cities in India, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, and of course even in Hyderabad. Sri M.R. Venkateshwaran of Mumbai, known as Guruji, has popularized Sampurna Narayaniyam. So this kind of daily, per day completion of the entire recital takes place in various places. There is a common belief that regular parayana of Narayaniyam, either directly or through scholars in the temples, gives relief to physical afflictions, particularly with strokes or rheumatism. Rather, any kind of health ailments are supposed to be cured by regular parayana of Narayaniyam. The poet himself composed this in a paralytical state, sitting in front of Sri Guruvayurappan in the temple in Kerala called Guruvayur, where he was struggling to sit erect due to paralysis. He could not sit straight in front of the Lord because of his paralysis problem. The poet Sri Narayan Bhattatri, in blissful concentration, suddenly stiffened when he had a divine vision from the sanctum sanctorium, and soon thereafter words flowed incessantly, commencing with Sandranandava Bodhatmakam. This is the first word of the first shloka that he has written. That flew incessantly from his mouth, and his brother who was sitting next to him with palm leaves and a traditional writing needle intensely went on with palm leaf writing. He started writing on the palm leaf. The first vision was only of pure breeze without a visible form, which made the poet also say in the first slokam, Aspashtam Dushta Matre. The form is not clear at first sight. This divine poet, Sri Melpatur Narayan Bhattatri, seemed to deemed to be next in greatness to Sri Adi Shankara, who took his avatara in Kaladi. After the opening stanza, Narayan Bhattatri was no longer looking at the mere idol of Guruvayurappan, but at Sri Guruvayurappan himself, appearing in all his splendor, guiding him to compose on and on. I will try to read. I will read the first sloka of Narayaniyam from the first dashakam. Sandra Nanda Vabodhatmakam Anupamitam. One second. Sandranandavabodhatmakam anupamitam kaladeshavadhivyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashata sahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam dushtamatre punaruru purushardhatmakam brahmatattvam sattavadbhati sakshat guru pavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam. This first shloka describes the greatness of the Lord. The intrinsic truth underlying the supreme Brahman, which is the quintessential but yet the totality of the conscious bliss and the ultimate knowledge, is incomparable, beyond the boundaries of time and space, ever absolutely free and boundless, whose inherent characteristics and qualities are expounded in crystal clear manner by the scriptures, and yet not clear and yet not clear from them, and which confers on mere sight the ultimate objective or all human efforts, namely salvation, is resplendently shining before the eyes of the devotee at Guruvayur in the form of Lord Krishna. It is indeed the greatest luck for all, as the Lord is always intent on making himself easily attainable to his devotees. This is the first shloka. Since I talked about a couple of words from the first shloka, I have taken the first shloka and I've read about the first shloka. Mahodaya, is it okay till here, the fast speed and everything?
Amam.
Oh, Dhanyawad, Mahodaya. Now we will talk about the poet in detail. The author and poet of Srimad Narayaniyam, Sri Melpatur Narayan Bhattatri, was born in 1560. His education was over a wide spectrum of disciplines: Shastras, Vedas, logic, grammar, etc. etc. He was a great prodigy. He was a great Sanskrit scholar, author of Prakriya Sarvaswam, an authoritative treatise on Sanskrit grammar. Luckily for the good fortune of the people and literature, he was pulled up at the right time by his preceptor and guru, Achyuta Pisharoti. Sri Achyuta Pisharoti was his guru also, and Narayan Bhattatri, in his infinite love for his guru, took over on himself the paralytical stroke of his guru. The guru was suffering from paralysis, so he took over that disease from him. He paid a supreme offering to his guru by this gesture of taking over the disease on himself. Sri Bhattatri then came over to the Lord of Guruvayur for relief, and by the time 100th Dashakam was completed, he found himself miraculously cured of his disease and was blessed with Ayur Arogya Saukhyam, a long health and blissful life. As the composition of Narayaniyam progressed, the poet expanded the scope of his prayers to the Lord to shower blessings and grace not only upon himself, but also on everyone in the universe, using the expression Vishwa Pidapa Hatyai. So initially he started rendering it for his own health, but later he ensured the blessings are given to all the people in the universe. There was one incident in a temple near Thrissur when Bhattatri, along with several Brahmin scholars, was participating in a Vedic function called Varam Irikyal. It's a Malayalam word that made the devotees believe that Bhattatri was an incarnation or Amsha of Adisesha. It was that the Brahmins present were astonished to see a change in the facial expression of Bhattatri, and the next moment they could discern the hood of a huge serpent. The belief is that it was the visage of Adi, Sesha, the thousand-headed celestial serpent himself. So since then he was considered as the Amsha of Adisesha. There was another great Upanyasakar speaker, Brahmastri Sengalipuram Anantarama Dikshitar, who spread the glory of Lord Guruvayur through his Narayanian discourses. He had the habit of posing a question at the end of each dasakam to the Lord. Is it not so? And the Lord is reported to have spontaneously given his assent. Many admirers of Dikshitar believe him to be an incarnation of Bhattatri himself. The author humbly submits, when I say author, it is Sri Bhattatri. He humbly submits that though the regular Parayana may relieve the devotee of physical ailments, the basic objective of such a divinely inspired creation like Srimad Narayaniyam extends to far more than physical cures. It's not just for physical cures. Some of the blessings that can be derived from Srimad Narayaniyam are development of bhakti, realization of oneness with God, awareness of divinity in all that we perceive, consciousness of the presence of Sri Guruvayurappan in every pore and core of our being. The poet taking on himself his guru's stroke might have been the small wick that lighted over 1,000 lamps in the form of 1,000 odd shlokas of Narayaniyam. While Narayan Bhattatri was composing the shlokas, Narayaniyam shlokas, he has had several memorable and anxious moments. I will talk about a few along with some examples. The real instance that really happened. When Narayaniam was composed, the poet is said to have had quite a few memorable and at times anxious moments that left him astonished. For instance, when Dashakam on the avatars of Lord Narsimha was being composed, the narration came to a stage when the terrible demon king Hiranyakashipu hit the pillar with the bare arm, breaking it at once. A world-shattering roar was heard simultaneously, heralding the great avatar of Narsimha. Narsimha is nothing but the man and lion together. At that point, the poet was virtually tongue-tied, which made him which made him cry out as below. Are kwasau sakala jagadatma haririti prabhinte smastambam chalitara karavalo diti sutaha ata pashad vishnu nahi vaditumisho'smi sahasa krupatman vishwatman pavanapuravasin mrudayamam. He mainly said the last two lines, Atah Pashchad Vishnu. I have recited this shloka number 10 from the chapter 24, the 24th Dashakam, that says, "O Lord, I am in no condition to put into words that great form in which you appeared, nor can I describe the events that followed thereafter. Please help me and save me." So when Bhattatri had stopped and said this, the story is that at that moment, Sri Guruvayurappan once again took up the form of Lord Narsimha, emerged from the pillar in front of the poet and revealed himself before him, inspiring him to describe the celestial sight. The description of the Narsimha Avataram was then composed in a separate dasakam. So Narsimha Avataram is two dasakams continuously that we read when we read Narayaniam. I will try to read the first three shlokas, which are very, very important out of these two chapters. One moment. Okay. These three are something that where Narasimha Swami actually appears, and he is being described in these three shlokas. स्तंभे गठयते हिरण्यकशिपोः कर्णो समाचूर्णयन् आघूर्णज्जगदण्डकुण्डकुहरो घोरस्तवा भूद्रवः श्रुत्वायं किल दैत्यराजहृदये पूर्वं कदाप्यश्रुतं कम्पः कश्चन सम्पपात चलितोऽप्यम्भोजभूर्विष्टरात् दैत्ये दिक्षु विसृष्टचक्षुषी महा संरम्भिणी स्तंभतः सम्भूतं न मृगात्मकं न मनुजाकारं वपुस्ते विभो किं भीषणमेतदद्भुतमिति व्युद्भ्रान्तचित्ते सुरे विस्फूर्जद्वलोग्ररोम विकसत् वश्मा समाजृम्भताः तप्तस्वर्ण गूर्णदतिरुक्षाक्षं सटाकेसर प्रोत्कम्प प्रणिकुम्भिताम्बर महो जीयात वेदं वपुः व्याप्त महादरी सखमुखं खड्गोग्रवल्गन्महा जिह्वा दृश्यमान सुमहा दंष्ट्रायुगोड्डार्मरम्. I'll quickly tell you the meaning of this. This is the incarnation of Narsimha Swami that is shown here. When Hiranyakashipu mightily broke the pillar, there was a terrifying boom deafening the ears. The world was shaken up by subterranean turmoil. Hearing the unprecedented noise, the demon king developed an indescribable tremor within his self. Even Brahma was shaken up in his throne. O Lord, when the demon turned all around looking in dismay, there burst forth explosively a form of which was neither man nor beast in form. Even as Hiranyakashipu was in a confused state of mind as to what this horrendous and wondrous being could be, you grew into a mighty form with white, brilliant, terrifying manes. when it is written as you grew into a mighty form, it is again the one-on-one conversation between the devotee and the Lord Narsimha that is happening. That's the reason it is it is addressed as you grew into a mighty form. The poet is saying this. Your form was indeed to be wondered. It had two dazzling eyes revolving around like molten gold, arousing fear. Your mane swaying covered up the sky, your mouth wide open like the monstrous cave, your long tongue swirling around, looking like brandishing sword, and two terrifying incisors jutting out in front beside the protruding tongue. This is the meaning of the first three shlokas that I thought I can take up here. There are another seven more shlokas, of course, which describe rest of the Narsimhavatara. We will proceed to the next part of the Vyakhya. Though Narayaniyam is a miniature form of Srimad Bhagavatam, condensed into 100 dashakams, mostly of 10 shlokas, the relevant episodes, it is not a mechanical process like precise writing by constant referring to the original Bhagavatam. It is not a one-on-one taken and condensed to form Narayaniyam, but it is said that Sri Bhattatri was, as it were, living through the entire event narrated in the original Bhagavata Purana. And indeed, he seems to have identified himself as one amongst Krishna Bhaktas who actually lived with him. This is evident from a shloka in Madhura Pravesham, Dashkam number 74, shloka number 6. Tavatrishchit vaibhavastav vibho natyanta papa janah yat kinchid dadate sma shakyanugunam tambula malyadikam गृह्णानः कुसुमादि किञ्चन तदा मार्गे निबद्धाञ्जलिः नातिष्ठं बतः यतोऽद्य विपुलां आर्तिव्रजामि प्रभो. It means, O omnipervasive one, people who had not sinned realized your prosperous glory and offered you betel leaves, garlands, and the like within their capabilities. I did not unfortunately stand there saluting you, O Lord, and offering you some flowers, as a consequence of which I am suffering this unbearable pain now in the form of the paralytical disease. So he's actually feeling bad that he was not there when the Madhura Pravesham had happened. So the 100th and the concluding Dashakam is exquisitely grand for want of a better expression, where the opening words, Agre Pashyami, I behold you straight in front of me. The last 100 Dashaka's first shloka starts with Agre Pashyami, meaning I behold you straight in front of me. I will read the first shloka in, completely here for once. Agre Pashyami Tejo Nibhidatara Kalayavali Lobhaniyam Piyushaplavitoham Tadanu Tadudare Divyakaishoravesham Tarunyarambaramyam Paramasukharasa Swadaromanchitangaihi Ativam Naradadhyaihi Vilasadupanishad Sundari Mandalaischa. Lord Guruvayurappan gave the poet Pratyaksha Darshanam here all through those moments up to the stage when in the concluding shloka he prayed for Ayur Arogya Saukhyam. So he got a direct darshan of the Lord here by the time he reached the last shloka. One more. I'll read the last shloka also once, please. Yogi, once again, the last dashakam is supposed to be called as Keshadipada Varnanam. So every shloka here in this chapter describes parts of the body of the Lord, starting from the first shloka. Agyatva te mahatvam yadiha nigaditam Vishwanatha Kshametha Stotram Chaitat Sahasrottaram Adhikadaram Tvat Prasadaya Bhuyat Dveda Narayaniyam Shrutishu Cha Janusha Stutyata varnanena sphitam leelavataraih idamiha kurutam ayurarogya saukhyam. So this is the last shloka where is praying for Ayur Arogya Saukhyam. Let us park this particular term Dveda Narayana, Narayaniyam. I will explain why it is called Dveda Narayanam in a short while. So, Bhattatri was a multifaceted personality. Apart from Narayaniyam, he has authored numerous works in Mimamsa, that is logic, grammar, and poetry. His deep devotion, profound knowledge, and scholarly erudition brought him fame, honor, admirers, and disciples, and the greatest of them all, the Lord's grace. Narayaniyam title has two aspects. Narayaniyam derives its title from two aspects. First is that it deals with Lord Narayana as its prime and perhaps exclusive subject matter. Secondly, it was composed by a man whose first name was also Narayana. Hence, it is about Narayana, recited by Narayana. Hence, it is Dveda Narayaniyam. The term has been used in the last shloka, Dveda Narayaniyam. Hence, explains the two aspects of the Narayaniyam. Let us know a little about the sanctity of the Guruvayur temple now. Having heard about the Narayaniyam written by Sri Narayan Bhattatri, we will also understand where he wrote and what is the importance of the temple, the sanctity of the Guruvayur temple, and where it's located. The image of the Guruvayur temple is traced to have its origin in Mahavishnu, from whom it passed through the hands of Lord Brahma, sage Sutapa, Kashyapa Prajapati, Vasudeva, and Krishna, and was being worshipped at Dwarka, as Dwarka. Krishna, before getting restored to Vaikunta, told Uddhava, his friend and devotee, that this image would come floating in the waters, which would flood Dwarka from the sea around. This image was to be handed over to Guru, the preceptor of Devas. Accordingly, this was handed over to Guru, who took the assistance of Vayu, deity of wind, and looked at all the places for a suitable location to establish this image. Finally, this image is installed in the location where the temple is now situated in Thrissur district in Kerala state. As the installation was done by Guru and Vayu, this place is called as Guruvayur, and deity is known as Guruvayurappan. Vayu has other names like Pavana, Maruta, etc. And hence the deity of the temple is addressed in Narayaniyam by Bhattatri as Pavana Purapati, Vatalayapati, Marutalayapati, Pavanesha, etc. The temple of Guruvayur has a legendary divine sanctum sanctorium and is therefore sacred and holy and is indeed the Bhuloka Vaikuntha for devotees. Indian religious philosophy is vast, varied, wide, and deep. If one can go along with the characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Narayaniyam as beacon light for sublimating our lives to higher levels of spiritual evolution, considering the only and most important fact that this offers the simplest and most pragmatic route to the ultimate goal. So this is about temple. And with this, I have completed talking about my topic. I have a few shlokas that I want to recite, which are considered very important. Probably I will also tell them so that one can mark them, which are very important in a health perspective or any other perspective. Just very few of them I will try to recite. As I've recited the first one and done with it, I wanted to recite the next important shloka from Dasakam 2, which is nothing but the form of the Lord and the greatness of Bhakti have been explained in the first and the second shloka here. Mahodaya, is it okay? Can I continue? Another 10 minutes.
जी 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 बिल्कुल.
धन्यवाद. सूर्यस्पर्धिकिरीटमूर्ध्वतिलकं प्रोद्भासि फालान्तरं कारुण्याकुलनेत्रमार्द्रहसितोल्लासं सुनासापुटं गण्डोद्यन्मकराभ कुण्डलयुगं कण्ठोज्ज्वलत्कौस्तुभं त्वद्रूपं वनमाल्यहारपटल श्रीवत्सदीपं भजे. The poet says, here the form of the Lord and the greatness of the bhakti have been described. I meditate in reverence upon your form, O Lord, with your head sporting a crown that vies in splendor with the sun, with a forehead whose charm is enhanced with the upright mark of the tilak, with eyes full of mercy, with a benign smile at the lips, with a charming nose, with a pair of eardrops in the shape of crocodile, whose brilliance is reflected in your cheeks, with the neck bright with a kaustubha gem and gorgeous flowers, garlands, strings of pearl necklaces, and the Srivatsa mark dazzling on your chest. The second shloka. Keyurangada kankanottama maharatnanguliyankit kita Srimad Bahu Chatushka Sangata Gada Shankakhari Pankheruham Kanchit Kanchana Kanchi Lanchita Lasat Pitambaralambini Alambe Vimalambuja Dyutipadam Mutim Tavartichidam. I resort to your protection, O Lord, with a form which is not describable in words. A form with 4 hands adorned by shoulder ornaments, armlets, bracelets, and rings of gems. Further, they also wield the foursome mace, conch, discus, and lotus. The waist sports a golden yellow silk held in place by golden waist belts. Your feet are the sparkling lotus of pure clarity. This is the form which eradicates all afflictions of the devotees. I'll take one shloka from Dashakam number 3. पठन्तो नामानि प्रमदभरसिन्धौ निपतिताः स्मरन्तो रूपन्ते वरद कथयन्तो गुणकथाः चरन्तो ये भक्त्याः त्वयि खलु रमन्ते परममून् अहं धन्यान् मन्ये स्मधिगत सर्वाभिलषितान्. Sorry, by mistake I read the shloka 1 as the page open. I'll quickly explain this. The form of the devotee and the prayer of the devotion. O Lord, who confers all boons, devotees extol your names, remember by meditation your form, narrates stories of your virtues, revel in you despite their being in constant state of motion, state of mental flux, while being immersed in the ocean of bliss, as they have had all their desires fulfilled. I consider them as indeed truly blessed. Shloka 7 is a very important shloka again. Asking the Lord to help us use all the body parts for various puja activities. It's like asking us to justify the human birth here. Hence, this shloka was taught to us to be a very important shloka. Vidhuya kleshan me Guru charana vyugmam dhrutarasam bhavakshetra praptau karma pichate pujana vidhau bhavan murtya loke Nayana mathate pada tulasi parigrane granam Shravanam apite charu charite. The meaning goes like this. O Lord, kindly remove all my miseries soon, that my feet may derive pleasure in making pilgrims to your holy temples. My hands may worship you, my nose may smell the scent of tulasi leaves at your feet, and my ears may listen to stories of your glorious nature. So this is a very, very important shloka that can be read every day. There is one, the next important one I have taken is from Dashakam 4. Here, Ashtanga Yoga and its fulfillment are described here, where the devotee says, Kalyatam mama kurushvatavatim kalyate bhavatapasanam yaya Spashtamashtavidhayogacharyaya Pushtaya Shutavatushtimapnuyam. You may confer on me that adequate health to enable me to worship you. I am then confident of performing yoga with the 8 limbs of the body, thus pleasing you spiritually and winning over your grace. Here, the devotee is asking about, he's talking about the Ashtanga Yoga and its fulfillment. Dasakam 8 now is very, very important shloka in terms of health, and this is recited usually 13 times while we do the Parayana. And someone wants to recite this shloka for any health related issues, they are asked to recite the shloka at least 108 times. One second, I'll explain. This is the Jagat Srishti, the chapter on the Jagat Srishti. I will also talk about the names of the various chapters that are taken from Bhagavatam and how they go in the Narayaniam. Asmin Paratman Nanupadma Kalpe Tvamittamuttapita Padmayonihi Ananta Bhuma Mamaro Garashim Nirundi Vatalaya Vasa Vishnu. This is the most important shloka that I was mentioning about, which goes like this. O Vishnu, Lord of Guruvayur, thus did you bring into origin the Brahma called Padmaja in the Padmakalpa. O with such endless power of overlordship, please extend your grace to me and get rid me of all my diseases. So it's again, most of the shlokas, this is how the devotee addresses the Lord and asks him to relieve him of his diseases. Hence, Narayanam is considered to be one of the best Parayana Granthas for curing any of the diseases. Okay. There one I would like to again recite one particular shloka from Hiranyaksha Vadha. The Dashakam number 13 and Shloka number 14, where it is the Yagnavara Murti is described. Number 13. One second. It is sorry to Shloka number 10, as is Narayanam consists of Dashakams with Shlokas 10 or 11 at the maximum. It is sorry to Shloka number 9. Tvachit Chando Romaswapi Kushaganaschakshushiddhrutam Chaturhotaro Rau Strugapi Vadane Chodaraida Graha Jihvayam Te Parapurusha Karne Chajamsaha Vibho Somo Viryam Varadagaladesho Pyupasadaha. So this shloka describes the Yagnavaraha Murti. I'll just tell you the meaning of this. O Supreme One who confers boons, your skin is Chandas, the Vedic meter. Your hairs are the Kusa grass. Your eyes are the containers of ghee. Your 4 legs are the 4 priests conducting the sacrifice. Your face is the spoon for making the offering. Your tongue is the Graha vessel for Soma juice. Your stomach is the Ida vessel for keeping the oblations. Your ears are the Chamasa vessel for storing the sacrificial leftovers. Your prowess and energy are the Somarasa, the Soma juice. Your neck is a secondary ritual called Upasat, Ishtis. In this manner, you are personified form of Yajna. Now, we have the Dashakams on Bhakti, Ashtanga Yoga, Purushotpatti, Jagat Srishti, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu Utpatti, Varaha Avataram, Hiranyaksha Vadha, Kapila Gita, Naranarayana Avataram, Dhruva Avatar, Dhruva Charitra, Prutu Charitra, Ajamilopakyanam, Prahlada Charitam, Avatar Varnana, Gajendra Moksham, Urmavatara, Lakshmi Swayamvaram, Amrutotpatti, Mohini Avataram, Vamana Avataram, Matsya Avataram, Ambarishopakyanam. This is very, very important chapter that is to be read on Ekadashi. So we are asked to read it on Ekadashi usually, as far as possible. Then we have Sri Ramacharitam, Parshuram Avataram, Krishna Avataram, and the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. entire Leelas of Sri Krishna, in multiple chapters here, like Rasa Krida, Rukmini Kalyanam, etc. Kuchelopakhyanam, Bhakti Swarupa Varnana. There is a chapter on talking about the 24 gurus, like the air, etc. Then the Dhyana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Markandayopakhyanam, Bhagavan Mahima, Keshopadata Rupa Varnana. That is the last chapter that describes the entire, it describes the Lord totally from head to toe. I could not list many more names of the chapters, as there are 100 chapters. There are many more that are left out. I just picked up those that are known to most of us. So I think thorough. It is totally taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, and the chapters also are aligned to it. I mean, though it is not written one after the other, seeing this as I mentioned earlier, but it covers the entire Bhagavatam. So this is about this topic that I wanted to talk today. Thank you so much. Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Haraye Namaha Sri Haraye Namaha Sri Haraye Namaha Gopika Jivana Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama. That's all from my side, Mahodaya.
बहुत सुंदरम संगीता भगिनी, बहुत सुंदरम, बहुत
Thank you.
उत्तमम.
Dhanyavad, dhanyavad. Actually, there is so much to say about this that I think even if another hour or so I get also, then it will not suffice. There are many more important shlokas that I could have actually picked and spoke, but time was running short, so I had to condense it to 45 minutes.
बहुत सुंदरमस्ति भगिनी.
Thank you. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
बहु सुंदरम बहु उत्तमम समीचीनम.
Dhanyavad, bhai.
प्रत्यक्ष नारायणं दर्शनम.
बहु सुंदरं वर्णनं गायनमपि भगिनी.
Dhanyavad, bhai. Dhanyavad.
उत्तम, बहुत उत्तम.
Dhanyavad,
जहाँ
Mahodaya.
भगवान नारायण की आराधना होती है, उसी को निष्कंटक पथ कहा गया है, निष्कंटक मार्ग कहा गया है. एष निष्कंटकः पंथा यत्र संपूज्यते हरिः उपथं तद्विजानीयात् गोविंद हरितागमम्. इसलिए भगवत आराधन से संबंधित भक्ति विषयक जो आपने पद्यों का विश्लेषण किया, बहुत सुंदर, भावपूर्ण, अति उत्तम.
बहुत उत्तम भगिनी.
Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad, Mahodaya.
उत्तमम संगीता भगिनी.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad.
उत्तम प्रस्तुति.
Dhanyavad, Mahodaya. Dhanyavad, Mahodaya. Thank you for this opportunity. Dhanyavad.
अस्तु. कल कमल भगिनी का हम लोग श्रवण करेंगे, कमल भगिनी के द्वारा.
आम गुरु है, मैं विरदास में तो वाणी इतनी स्पष्ट नहीं है मेरी, फिर भी मैं बहुत कोशिश करूंगी गुरुवर्य. मैं
पूरा
सबके जितना
स्पष्ट
तो
है.
अच्छा नहीं बोल सकती.
हमको तो सब बहुत अच्छा बोलेंगी आप. बहुत अच्छा.
आज नहीं है
आपका
महोदय,
आशीर्वाद है.
कमल भगिनी का और एक था ना आज 15 मिनट का.
नहीं, उनका चेंज हो गया था.
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके. फिर तो मैं और एक 10 मिनट का लिख लेती. मैंने देखा नहीं शायद, आई डिडंट नोटिस.
मैंने कल भेजा हुआ था. इसमें कमल भगिनी का कल, और 10 तारीख को कुलकर्णी महोदय और कनुप्रिया भगिनी अभी आ नहीं रही है. कुछ परीक्षा इत्यादि की तैयारियां चल रही हैं उनकी,
अच्छा
तो व्यस्तता है, लेकिन उस दिन
महोदय,
करूंगी क्योंकि बोली है. हाँ हाँ जी जी.
महोदय आपका परमिशन हो तो मैं और अनुराधा भगिनी एक लास्ट चैप्टर जो लास्ट चैप्टर जो है उसके 10 श्लोक एक एक करके पढ़ना चाहते थे एक्चुअली हमारे सिलेबस
बिल्कुल।
में हम लोग वो डिस्कस किया था। अनुराधा, आर यू रेडी?
बिल्कुल।
अनुराधा, बुक है तुम्हारे पास?
2 मिनट।
हाँ
और
प्लीज।
भगवत साक्षात्कार भी कर सकते हैं ना संगीता? 68 दशकम एक बार देख लो। तव विलोकना कृष्णा वो वाला।
No, let's do the quick one.
Okay.
Radha,
Which one?
That the 100 chapter will study.
Sure.
100 पढ़ लेंगे क्योंकि वो जल्दी हो जाएगा।
ठीक है।
68 it will be little longer. Okay, you want to start because मैंने पढ़ लिया था first श्लोक already एक बार. You start the first श्लोक.
विष्णु वीर्याणि को वा कथयतु धरणेः कश्च रेणुर्मिमीते यस्यैवाङ्घ्रित्रयेण त्रिजगदभिमितं मोदते पूर्णसम्पत् योऽसौ विश्वानि दत्ते प्रियमिह परमं धाम तस्याभियायां तद्भक्ता यत्र स्माद्यन्ति अमृतरस अरन्दस्य यत्र प्रवाहः.
Under the 100 we were supposed to read the 100 chapter.
Oh,
Agre
sorry.
Pashyami.
91. अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावलीलोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदनु तदुदरे दिव्यकैसोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वादरोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च.
नीलाभं कुञ्चिताग्रं घनममलतरं संयुतं चारुभङ्ग्या रत्नोत्तम साभिरामं वलयितं उदयचन्द्रकैः पिञ्चजालैः मन्दारस्रज्निवीतं तव पृथुकबरी भारम् आलोकयेऽहं स्निग्धश्वेतोद्धपुण्ड्राम् अपि च सुललितां हालबालेन्दुवीधिम्. Here the Kesavarnan is being done, and as you heard the term Pincha Jalaihi, the peacock feather and the forehead are being described. Go ahead.
हृद्यं पूर्णानुकम्पार्णव मृदुललहरी चञ्चलध्रुविलासैः आनीलस्निग्धपक्ष्मावलिपरिलसितं नेत्रयुग्मं विभोते सान्द्रच्छायां विशालारुण कमलदलाकारम् आमुग्धतारं कारुण्यालोकलीला शिशिरितभुवनं क्षिप्यतां मय्यनाथे.
Here the eyes have been described, hence this shloka is supposed to be a very, very important shloka. If somebody has eye problems, they can read this shloka every day. The next one, the third one, fourth one. Uttungollasinaasam Harimani Mukura Prola Sadgandapali Vyalolat Karnapasanchita Pakaramani Kundala Dvandvadipram Unmiladanta Pankti Spuradaruna Tarachaya Bimbadarantaha Priti Prasyandi Mandas Mitamadhurataram Vaktram Udbhasatame. This sloka describes the nose, the ears, and the red lips.
बाहुद्वन्द्वेन रत्नोज्ज्वलवलयभृता सोणपाणिप्रवाळे नोपातां वेणुनाळीं मयूखाकङ्गुली सङ्गसारं कृत्वा वक्त्रारविन्दे सुमधुर विकसद्रागम् उद्भाव्यमानैः शब्दब्रह्मामृतैः स्वं शिशिरितभुवनैः सिञ्च मे कर्णवीधिम्.
This shloka that Anuradha Bhagini read is describing the kantham, that is the neck, and the nails. Okay. Utsarpat Utsarpat kaustubhasri tatibhirarunitam कोमलं कण्ठदेशं वक्षश्रीवत्सरम्यं तरलतरसमुद्दीप्रहार प्रतानं नानावर्णप्रसूनावळी किसलैनीं वन्यमालां विलोलल्लोलम्बां लम्बमाना मुरसि तव तथा भावये रत्नमालाम्.
अंगे
Go
ओके
ahead,
गो अहेड
Anuradha.
संगीता.
Go ahead.
अंगे पञ्चाङ्गरागैः अतिशय विकसत् सौरभाकृष्टलोकं लीनानेकत्रिलोकी विततिमपि कृशां बिभ्रतं मध्यवल्लीं शक्रास्मन्यस्ततपोज्ज्वल कनकनिभं पीतचेलं दधानं ध्यायामो दीप्तरश्मि स्फुटमणिरसना किङ्किणी मण्डितं त्वाम्.
This is describing about the stomach, the hips, and also the anklets that the Lord is wearing, the feet. ऊरु चारु तवोरु घनमसृण रुचौ चित्तचोरौ रमाया विश्वक्षोभं विसंख्य ध्रुवमणिसमुभौ पीतचेलावृताङ्गौ आनम्राणां पुरस्तात् न्यसनधृत समस्ताद्धपाळी समुद्गच्छायं जानुद्वयं च क्रमपृथुलमनोज्ञे च जंगे निषेवे. Another, go ahead.
मञ्जीरं मञ्जुनादैः इव पदभजनं श्रेय इत्यालपन्तं पादाग्रं भ्रान्तिमज्जत् प्रणतजनमनो मन्दरोद्धारकूर्मम् उत्तुङ्गाताम्रराजन् नकरहिमकरज्योत्स्नया चाश्रितानां सन्तापध्वान्तहन्त्रीं ततिमनुकलये मङ्गलामङ्गुलीनाम्.
Yogindranam, sorry, the earlier shloka 9 was Pada Varnana, done. Yogindranam Tvadangashu Adhika Sumadhuram Mukti Bhajam Nivaso Vaktanam Kamavarshad Tudikasalayam नाथते पादमूलं नित्यं चित्तस्थितं मे पवनपुरपते कृष्णा कारुण्य सिंधो ऋत्वा निःशेषतापान् प्रदिशतु परमानंद संदोह लक्ष्मीम्.
अज्ञत्वा ते महत्वं यदिह निगदितं विश्वनाथ क्षमेथाः स्तोत्रं चैतत्सहस्रोत्तरमधिकतरं त्वत्प्रसादाय भूयात् वेदा नारायणीयं श्रुतिषु च जनुषा स्तुत्यतावर्णनेन स्फीतं लीलावतारैः इदमिह कुरुताम् आयुरारोग्य सौख्यं. सर्वत्र गोविन्द नाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द गोविन्द.
अस्तु महोदय.
बहुत बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. भगवान के श्री अंगों का जिस प्रकार से इसमें वर्णन किया गया है, अद्भुत, बहुत उत्तम.
ये सब केशपादादि वर्णांत रूप महोदय. हम दोनों ने एक ही की गुरु के पास सीखा था इस नारायणीयम को.
जी जी जी.
बहुत मधुरम. अनुराधा भगिनी और संगीता भगिनी बहुत मधुरम.
धन्यवाद भगिनी.
धन्यवाद भगिनी.
बहुत तमाम.
Actually, there are more ragas as the chapters move on. Each chapter is in a different raga. मतलब repeat होते हैं ragas, लेकिन many more ragas that possibly did not get covered, except one or two.
बहुत बढ़िया.
చాలా బాగుందండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद महोदय.
धन्यवाद महोदय.
Thank you अनुराधा.
देखिए, भगवान का जो रूप है ना, उनके नाम के अधीन है, क्योंकि जो रूप का संबंध है आंखों से है, और आंख से होने के कारण वो भीतर जाता है. तो नाम का उच्चारण और रूप का ध्यान, ये दोनों करना है। तो भगवान के जो रूप का ध्यान है, इसको तो संगीता भगिनी और अनुराधा भगिनी ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से बताया। भगवान देखिए कहीं छिपे नहीं हुए तो है नहीं, जो कुछ दिखाई दे रहा है वो सब भगवान की विभूतियां ही तो है। आध्यात्मिक दृष्टिकोण से देखते हैं तो, और विभूति और योग में जो अंतर होता है उसको हम कई बार चर्चा किए हैं कि थोड़ा सा ही उसमें अंतर होता है। जैसे जल है, जल, पानी, नीर, वो है योग स्वरूप, और उसमें जो बर्फ का जमना है वो हो गई विभूति। इसी प्रकार से रसस्वरूप परमात्मा तो तत्व के रूप में है, तत्व के रूप में है परमात्मा। और जो पृथ्वी, अग्नि, जल, सूर्य, चंद्रमा, वायु, आकाश, ये सब हमको दिखाई देते हैं प्रत्यक्षतः, ये सब भगवान की विभूतियां हैं। तो दृष्टि ऐसी हो कि जहां देखें वही भगवान का वैभव हमको दिखाई पड़े। कि विशिष्ट भवन कहा गया है ना, तो भगवान एक विशेष रूप में प्रकट हो रहे हैं ऐसा लगना चाहिए। इसलिए हमको स्तोत्रों का, मंत्रों का भी आश्रय ग्रहण करना चाहिए, रूप का भी आश्रय ग्रहण करना चाहिए, विभूतियों का भी चिंतन करना चाहिए। खुली आंखों से तो देख ही रहे हैं कि सारे के सारे रूप में स्वयं भगवान ही अपने वैभव को प्रकट कर रहे हैं। तो इस वैभव को प्रकट करने की भगवान में जो शक्ति है उसका भी चिंतन करना चाहिए। देखिए, यदि भगवान में इस प्रकार की शक्ति न होती तो सब वैभव कैसे प्रकट होते। लेकिन ये बात जो है अनुमान की भी नहीं है। भगवान ने गीता में तो कहा ही है, जिसको हम लोग देखे थे 10वें अध्याय में, एताम विभूतिम योगम च मम यो वेत्ति तत्वतः तो विकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः। जो लोग प्रयोगशाला आदि में भगवान को सिद्ध करना चाहते हैं वो कैसे कर पाएंगे। मशीन की नोक पर भगवान को नहीं लाया जा सकता, और जो लोग अनुमान से भगवान को सिद्ध करना चाहते हैं वे भी सिद्ध नहीं कर सकते। सिद्ध तो केवल एक भक्त ही कर सकता है, जिसकी चर्चा हम लोग निरंतर कर रहे हैं, और बहुत अच्छी अच्छी चर्चाएं यहाँ पर सुनने को सभी को मिल रही है। बड़े ही उत्साह के साथ सब लोग सहभागी बने, और अब कुछ ही दिन और हैं, उसके बाद फिर चर्चाएं। देखिए, भक्ति की चर्चा तो सर्वत्र हमको मिलेगी, जहां भी जिसका भी अध्ययन करेंगे आगे चल के सब में भक्ति की चर्चा मिलेगी ही मिलेगी। तो ऐसा भी नहीं कि ये पुरुषोत्तम मास के बाद हमारी चर्चा रुक जाएगी, ऐसा भी नहीं है। चर्चा निरंतर होती रहेगी, चाहे हम जिस भी ग्रंथ का आश्रय लें वहां कहीं ना कहीं भक्ति की चर्चा होगी ही होगी। अस्तु, इतना ही कहना था। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सबका।
महोदय,
यहीं
एक
पर
स्वस्ति मंत्र थोड़ा सा 2-4 लाइन का है, थोड़ा पढ़ लें। एक मिनट।
जी जी जी
जी, क्योंकि हमने थोड़े अभी पढ़े हैं चैप्टर, तो ये जरूरी है पढ़ना। तो
हाँ हाँ
हाँ। स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्याम परिपालयन्ताम न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्य पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। सर्वत्र गोविन्द नाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द। श्रीहरये नमः। आनंद चिन्मयिने शरणं। श्री पोन्नु गुरुवायूरप्पने शरणं। चोटानिक्कुरु भगवती अम्मये शरणं। नारायण अखिल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। योगेश्वर अखिल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते। धन्यवाद महोदय।
बहुत बढ़िया
महोदय,
जी
नमस्कारः
जी
महोदय। अहं विलम्बेन आगतवती। नमस्कारः।
हाँ हाँ
महोदय एक्चुअली वो सैटरडे को मैंने बोला है, वो ब्लैंक था इसलिए मैंने सोचा कुछ करेंगे। मैं तो तैयार करके रखा है। फिर भी अगर कोई
जी।
बोलना चाहता है तो शायद उनको भी एक चांस देना चाहिए ना।
हाँ हाँ
तो इसलिए मैंने उसमें ग्रुप में मैंने मैसेज छोड़ा था।
अच्छा अच्छा
मैंने तो तैयारी कर रही हूँ और हम दोनों एक साथ मिलके, मैं और मेरे पति जी, तो हम तैयारी कर रहे हैं। लेकिन फिर भी अगर कोई बोलना चाहता है तो कुछ आप जैसे आप बोलेंगे महोदय।
हाँ हाँ हाँ। तो अभी तक हम तो ये मतलब इसकी योजना बना रहे थे कि सबका एक एक बार कम से कम सबका हो जाए।
हम्म,
तो शनिवार तक के पहले पहले तो सबका जो उपस्थित होते हैं प्रायः है जो बोलने के इच्छुक है उन्होंने तो अपना बता दिया और उनका लगभग लगभग हो ही गया है। एक
ठीक है महोदय, शनिवार को मैं प्रस्तुति करूंगी।
हाँ तिलोत्तमा भगिनी भी बोलना चाह रही थी कि उनका भी था एक मैसेज